do
this
it.
Is a, at least this is something we all agree on, right?
You're lagging. I can't hear what you're saying. What's up?
Oh my goodness! I said this is something we can all agree on, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I've said my review. Yeah. Gentlemen, Pete going first because I know he's the Spider-Man fanboy he is. What did you think of Spider-Man No Way Home? And don't hold back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be full of spoilers, by the way. So you guys had your time. If you guys want to come back. Give us like maybe 10 minutes.
I mean, the list of who hasn't seen the movie is probably shorter than the list of who has seen the movie at this point.
So
let's hear it, Pete.
No. So it's funny. Like I've heard a lot of people say, let's call it how it is. Like it's gotten great reviews, critically and also from just the audience as well. I mean, what is it? 99% audience rating and Rotten Tomatoes, like 94% critics, certified, approved from Rotten Tomatoes. Fresh, I mean, certified fresh from Rotten Tomatoes. So it's gotten great reviews. Now people are saying, is this the best comic book movie of all time? I don't know about that. I don't know if I could say it's the best comic book. It's the best Spider-Man movie of all time. Definitely. At least live action is the best Spider-Man movie of all time. I think it's definitely top 5 or maybe more than maybe top 3, maybe I don't know, it could be the best, I think. I think it really ranks up there because of what they accomplish. And this is not
best
just
comic book movie or the best Spider-Man movie?
Comic book movie.
Okay.
Maybe the best. Definitely best live action. Definitely probably the best Spider-Man movie. Hands down. Probably definitely.
But you're saying probably the best superhero movie?
It's up there. I think it's up there. It's up there. It's up there because I look at it this way. You can look at all the faults of the movie. You can look at little things like a lot of people look at the plot points. A lot of people looking at certain of the villains or certain criticisms and all that stuff. But think of it this way: you're taking 3 different franchises and putting it in one movie. Not only are you taking 3 different Spider-Man franchises and putting it in one movie, you're taking also the MCU, their whole thing going and putting in that movie as well. And then you're making it into, in the end of the day, it's still a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. And at the end of the day, you care more about that character than you did in any of the other movies he's done. It's the best Spider-Man story, really, or Peter Parker story by the end. Because, spoiler alert, it's been 2 weeks and all. You should already watch this. Spoiler alert, like he has nothing in the end. It's the most tragic Spider-Man story, to be honest. Really, hands down, the most tragic. Because he sacrifices his life to save everybody, right? He sacrificed his life to save the world, and also his decisions and his mistakes really is the reason why he ends up in the spot he does in the end. So I look at it that way in a sense. It's has great action scenes. I think William Dafoe's Green Goblin is probably the best villain when it comes to how nefarious he is, how evil he was as a character. But also sympathetic, and also because he wasn't in control. So you still have that, sympathetic side of him. I mean, I still think the Vulture is probably the best Spider-Man villain, really, in my eyes. Like out of all of them, just because he seemed the most authentic, most real out of everybody. But definitely, when it comes to most evil, most him doing something like really, horrible to Peter, it's definitely one of the first Green Goblin in this movie. They actually also, I think, corrected all the faults of the previous Spider-Man movies, like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and his portrayal was like literally he stole kind of the show in a lot of ways. I think, like I said, it fixed a couple of the villains as well. It fixed Jamie Foxx's Electro. He looked a lot better in this one than he did in the previous one. Like I said, dude, in all 3 Spider-Mans, I mean, you want to see more of these guys, right? You want to see more of these guys. Literally, they only had like 20 minutes on screen all together, but seriously, their chemistry is so like it came out so well that you want to see more of this. Like, I mean, they got to do another one of these, right? They got to do another team up with these guys, right? Because it just seems so. It felt like
that's the word, Pete. That's the word.
I'm just saying,
if you listen to the dirt sheets,
it came out so well that you think they've done this before, So to me, Yes, it's definitely up there for the best superhero of all time. My picks are still Dark Knight #1. Uh, I think Logan, Infinity War, but I can actually put this in I gotta watch this again, but I can put this right in there too as well. I can put that right in the midst of these movies. I still think Dark Knight's #1 though in my book, but it's definitely up there. I think as one of the best superheroes of all time, and that's definitely the best movie of last year, hands down. I know we had our list, but it definitely won last year, best movie for last year. So yeah, it's great. It's pun intended, I guess, amazing, I guess you could say, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and I want to see it again. And I only watched it once, but it's definitely something worth watching a few times. So,
Oh,
anyway.
I'm looking forward to the day it hits streaming.
Anthony, your turn.
So I'm gonna start with Aunt May. She wants to give all these villains a second chance, but can't give poor Happy a freaking second chance. Poor guy, man. Seriously, like what the hell, dude? Seriously, like that's the epitome of every woman, right? She's like, oh, villain, second chance. Good guy, Happy.
He's being too clingy, man.
Being too clingy. He can't help it, dude. You think he ever score a woman that looks like that? Come on, it's Happy.
The funny thing about that,
the man is grieving. He's had Tony to look after for so many goddamn years.
Exactly.
And so he goes to Aunt May, and like that's his next person he has to protect, next person he has to serve, and that's that kind of thing. So I get that. I understand that.
I understand the man. Poor guy. You want to talk about tragic? How about that guy? He has it more tragic than Spider-Man. Loses his best friend, loses his girlfriend. The death. Come on.
The worst part about
his apartment's trashed.
Yeah, she breaks up with him, and then he ends up still giving her refuge in their apartment.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And then she dies. Tony's dead. So what does this man have left? He has Gwyneth Paltrow. That's it.
He's getting pressed charges too against them by the government or whatever, or by the city because of what happened with the Peter and Mysterio. So
yeah,
you have to pay for that. Also. So
yeah, so this poor guy. It's a tragedy of Happy. That's what this movie is.
The tragedy of Happy Hogan.
Yep.
The tragedy of Happy. What an oxymoron right there.
Exactly.
The of Happy.
But no, I agree with everything Pete said. Really, I wouldn't. It's in my top 5 Marvel movies, but I wouldn't. I don't even know if I would say top 5 all time. I don't know. It's really good. I don't want to I'm not hating on it by any means.
It's up there. It's definitely up there for what they accomplished. Let's just put it that way.
It is. I still think though what they accomplished in Infinity War and Endgame is still on a bigger scale because there's so many characters that had such good screen time with the little bit of screen time they had.
Well, that's why I also I put it up there with Infinity Wars because of Infinity Wars is a huge accomplishment. So is Spider-Man No Way Home. But I think the difference between Infinity Wars and No Way Home is Infinity War had a story they were literally telling from 20 movies. They're telling a story to that
movies.
Whereas this literally threw this together. They're just like, let's do this. Let's put
so I guess I don't know how true it is, but I heard this was originally just supposed to be an end credit scene, and Kevin Feige was like, "No, make that into a whole movie."
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah.
Also as well, Green Goblin William Dafoe did not want to be a side character. He wanted to be the main villain.
Well, I think he needed to be after watching the movie.
All the stunts as much as he could and whatnot, and so he pretty much did. This movie is great.
It's definitely fringe top 5 for me. I would still say that I enjoy Thor Ragnarok more and the first Guardians of the Galaxy more. But I do put this up there with those.
Guardians definitely up there too, man. My best.
It's up there, but I have to put this above those. With Pete saying Dark Knight, and that just reminded me, Dark Knight is literally kind of one of my top movies, period, of just all time.
Yeah.
And as far as comic book movie wise, that is definitely my #1. And then number 2, honestly, I have to say No Way Home, basically the fact what they were able to accomplish. What was Sony was able to accomplish, righting their wrongs with everything that has come beforehand, as far as like with the Tobey trilogy and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and then like putting it into a redemption story for those characters, and putting like everything they had to deal with as far as like bringing everyone together, even freaking Charlie Cox coming in.
Oh,
And then
I'm like, I was like one of the only people to pop for that in the theater too. I was like, oh my god!
and then like having all that happen, and then the fact that like they were still editing this movie a week before it came out. They were still doing the visual effects for this movie before the premiere. Like everything they were able to put together into this movie, granted, is the worst kept secret in Hollywood, but they still pulled it off. They still managed to put it together, and we got what we got, and it's reached over $1 billion. Is that last time I checked, it was like 1.3, 1.4.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little let down that Venom wasn't in it.
I wasn't. He didn't need to be.
But they like I just hate it because they teased it like at the end of like Venom 2. It's like it almost felt like that was all that was completely unnecessary.
No, it's very necessary because I feel like okay, so you might not get Tom Hardy's Venom in that, but you definitely get Venom.
You can get a Venom, and Venom. Tom Hardy Venom is rumored to be with Andrew Garfield. That they're going to have a movie with it.
That's
with
the
them.
rumor.
So, and that's going to be leading into something else that we're going to talk about. Like
I heard a rumor that that the two of those guys, Garfield and Maguire, were going to show up in what was it?
Multiverse of Madness.
Was it Multiverse of Madness, or was it something later on down the line? I thought it was Quantum Mania, maybe.
I heard Multiverse of Madness.
Was it Multiverse? Okay, then yeah, it could have been Multiverse of Madness.